Hello everyone, my name is Shambhavi and welcome back to my channel Fun with Data Science. So in the last video we have discussed about the operators, types of errors, keywords and identifiers and data types. So today we are going to see string slicing, string functions, list and tuples. So basically, let me tell you firstly that what is string slicing. So string slicing is obtaining a substring from a string. Let's say you have a string that is in which it is written Shambhavi is a good girl. Now we have to obtain a small string from this larger string. You can say a substring, like I want to only obtain Shambhavi here. So basically the obtaining of this method is called string slicing. Now, one more important point is there that string slicing starts with the first index and ends at the last index. Now, let's say in this program I have taken a variable a slash identifier that is my str, and I have separated it with using an underscore. So as I had already told you the rules for identifiers, this is a rule that underscore is used. We can use underscore in the identifiers and not any other special symbol are used in naming an identifier. So what I have used here is that my underscore string, and I have stored a string that is Shambhavi is a good girl inside this variable. So in the last video only I had told you that whenever you see these semicolons and inside that you see any string or any number, all that things are always treated as a string. So next, if I want to print the length of my string, if I want to see that what is the length of my string, so for that there is a function which is called as len. So for finding the length of my string, which I have mentioned here is that my str. So for finding that we use print, and in bracket we use the function that is len function. So I wrote print len and in bracket the name of my variable. So I wrote print len my str. Now when I will run my program, so just hold on a second. Okay. So when I'm running it, I'm getting an output as 24. So this tells me that the length of your string is 24. Clear? Now, if I want to obtain a substring from this string, so what's the method? So now here what comes is the string slicing. So let's take an example here. Let's say I have taken my name Shambhavi, and now I want to, there we have done an operation that is 1:9. We have written this. So what does this mean? This 1 is the beginning one. So it is telling that you need to begin this string from 1 and you need to end this string at 9. Now here in a string slicing, these characters, these alphabets are ordered from 0th index. So the index for S is 0, for H is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So basically this is the whole procedure of indexing in string slicing. Now here the index starts from 0. So whenever it is saying that like it is written from 1:9. So what is 1 here? 1 is the H thing. We don't see the numbers. In string slicing, the thing that matters is the index number. All the thing in string slicing goes and gives the output through the indexing. So this one is the positive indexing which I have done here. There is a one negative indexing also. We will discuss this thing later on. So here what I told you is that the index starts from 0 and goes up to the length. So here my first beginning, that it is saying that you need to begin and give the string from the first index. So in my first index H is stored. So first word in my output I would get it as H. Now it is saying that go on to 9. So it will go till here, this one. This is n minus 1. So here 9 minus 1, that is 8. So it will go on to here and we will get the output like H, A, M, B, H, A, V, I. It will miss the H because S will not be printed here Because we have started the index string from first index, not from the 0th index. If we would write here it as like 0 is to 9. So basically now it would print our whole name, my whole name, that is Shambhavi. So I hope I made it clear to you that what is indexing and what is the rule for slicing here. This is the first, like anything is written like this. So this one is the starting index, starting. And this 9 thing is the ending. It is telling you that you need to end and print your string till this index. Clear? Now let's move to a PyCharm IDE, and so here I had written print my str, and in bracket I have written 1 is to 9. Now when I am going to, just hold on a second, when I am going to run it, I will get the output which I have written there only HAMBHAVI. So you saw here that when I had written that it will go from 1 is to 9, I had already told you that your output will be HAMBHAVI. So I hope I made this thing clear to you about the indexing and about how to get the outputs and how to do the slicing. Now let's take another example for it. Now here I had told you how to print the length of your string, how to check that. Second comes here is that I had here only told you that if we start from 0 to 9. So if we start from 0 to 9, we will get my whole name, that is Shambhavi, because the S points to the 0th index, and here we are starting from the 0th index. Clear? Okay. Now next what comes here is that if I do print my str 0 is to 24. Now if you are listening the lecture very carefully, you must have recognized that what is 24 here. So basically this 24 is the whole length of my str. In starting, the first function which I performed in this string was print and in bracket length, then my str. So basically what does this means is that when I am printing the length of my string, its whole length is 24, and when I am doing this function, that 0 is to 24. So I am starting from the 0th index and going till the last index of my string. So basically it will print my whole string that Shambhavi is a good girl. So let's run it once and check this out. Let me comment the earlier one. Okay, now I am running it and the output which I got is Shambhavi is a good girl. So as I have told you that 0th is the starting index for a string slicing, and other than that you can here use any of the numbers. Clear? Okay. So now our next thing is that what I had done here is that I had written print my str 0 is to 65. Now my whole string length was 24. Clear? Now if I write 0 is to 65, so will it show error or not? Because 65 is a very larger number and my string does not contain this much of characters in it. My string last index is 24, so it will go till there only. But here what I have mentioned is that 0 is to 65. The string length I have mentioned here is 65. So basically it will not show any error. It will just print the string that is there, that is Shambhavi is a good girl, and after that it will leave the spaces blank because my string is of 24 length and I have given the index here as 65. So it will print my string whatever is there, and after that it will finish the output. So let's run it and check that out. Let me run. Okay. So basically what I have printed here is that Shambhavi is a good girl. So I hope I made this thing clear to you that how to do this. Now next comes here is that, okay, just a second. Okay, now next comes here is that 0 is to 9 is to 2. Let me go to my OneNote only. So let me change the color, then I can explain you more easily. So I am writing here 0 is to 9. First let's understand about 1. So clear. So in the starting only I have explained to you about 0 and 9. So if you are listening to the lecture very carefully, you will be able to guess that what will be its output. So the output will be Shambhavi here. For 0 to 9, the output will be Shambhavi. Now, what is this 1 here? Why has this come and will it do any change in our this output or not? So basically this one, the thing which we mentioned after this colon, this one is the starting, this one is the ending, and this one is the skip this much of characters. So basically if I enter 1 here, so it means that you need not to skip any of the character and print the string like this only, that in our 0 is to 9 Shambhavi will be stored. Let me write it here. Shambhavi. Okay, so till 0 is to 9, this Shambhavi will be stored. And this one, it means that you need to skip one character. And here, this one is something that which does not skip your any of the character. If you will write 2 here, instead of 1, if you will write 2 here. So now it will skip your 1 character, and now if you will print 0 is to 9 is to 2. So the what output will you get here is that S, A, B, A, I. So S, A, B, A, I, you will get the output here as this. Now let me explain you this thing once more. Let's move to above where we have done this. And let's say I am writing here 0 is to 9 is to 2. This 2 means that the number which you mention here, it means that you need to skip character likewise here. So the in the starting of the index, if we do not mention anything here, so that means you need to start your counting from 0. And if we do not mention anything this inside this 2 or we write 1 here, so it means that you need not to skip any of the character and print the whole string as it is given. But if you are printing 2 here, so it means that you need to skip this character, skip each only one character after every letter. Now let me show you how. So from 0 to 9, you all must be agreeing that our output will be whole Shambhavi my name. Now after that, if I want to skip one character here because of this 2, so what output will I get is that after skipping H, I will get A. Then I will skip M and I will get B. Then I will skip H and I will get A. And after that I will skip V and I will get I. So what output will I get here is that S, A, B, A, I. This will be our output. So I think I made it clear to you that if you are writing 1 here, so that means you need not to skip any of the characters and print the beginning and the ending of the string like the same only. But if you are adding 2 or 3 or 4 here, so it means that you need to skip n-1 character. So here if you are writing 2, so you write 2 minus 1. And 2 minus 1 is 1. So you need to skip one character here. Okay, so I think I made it clear to you, and now let's run it for 1 and 2 both. Let's firstly run it for 1, and after I wrote 1 and run it, I got the output here as Shambhavi. Now if I make it 2 and now I run it, so I got the output as SA, just hold on a second, SABAI. And this was the same output which we find out here after doing our calculation and after doing our result, SABAI. So I hope I made all the things clear to you about the slicing. Now next comes here, let me comment it. Now here I told you that if you do not mention anything in this the starting of the index, let's say you did not write, okay, let me take this a little bit more down. Okay, let me change the color also. Okay, fine. So I told you that if you don't write anything here and simply you write any length here, so basically what it will mean that it will automatically take the starting index as 0. Okay, and now after that it will print whole your string, that is Shambhavi is a good girl. It will take this string and consider this index as blank space as 0 and it will print your whole string. Clear? So here let me run it, and the output which we will get is Shambhavi is a good girl. Now after this, I hope I made this clear to you that if you're not writing anything here, so it will automatically take 0. So this is also the same example. Here what I have done is that I had taken colon, and after colon I have given the ending index as 5. So it will simply print SHAMB. Clear? Okay. Now, if I don't give any of the things here, like I have not given the starting index also, and I have not given the ending index also. So basically what it will do is that it will print your whole string which is starting from the 0th index till the 24th index. Clear? Okay. Now hash. Okay, now I have already told you about this one in the example which I was showing for 0, 24 and 1 and 2. So basically let me run it, and it will print the whole string like it is, because here the default gap is 1 and default gap I had told you n minus 1, so 0. Clear? So it will not skip any of the characters, and it will automatically print the whole string. Now, okay. Now if I don't write anything here, and then I write 2. Okay. See it here. If I miss the starting index, I miss the ending index, and only I write the how much characters to skip. So this thing I had already told you that it will take the starting index as 0. It will take your whole length of the string, that is 24, and it will skip each one of the character, that is n minus 1, and print you the output. Now let me run it and let's check it out. Run. So basically what it does is that Shambhavi is a good girl was my whole string, and it has skipped each and every of the characters and printed me this string. Clear? So here we completed our positive indices for the string slicing. Now comes the negative indices for string slicing. Now let me take you a little bit down. And okay, we have already checked the string of our length of our string. Now here it is -4 is to -2. Let's move to the PyCharm IDE, and this has created a little bit of mess up. Now let me move a little down, and let me create one more rectangle here like this. Okay, and now let me make some lines and write my name. Okay, let me do SHAMBHAV. Okay, so here it is SHAMBHAVI. Okay, so from here we have started the positive indices, that was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, and we have gone up to 8 here. And Shambhavi is just a second, let me is a good girl. So this was our whole string in which we are doing some string slicing options. Now here what if we move from left to right, we get the positive indices, and now if you move from right to left, you will get negative indices. Now what I wanted to say is that if you are going and doing the indexing from left to right hand side, that is from Shambhavi, so you will get the output as you will get the indices as 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and up to 24. But if you are going to do the indexing from here, so here from the negative indexing starts, and this L will be -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on up to -24. So what I wanted to convey from here is that if we move from right to left, we get the negative indices. Clear? This is the negative indices side, and if we move from left to right, we get the positive indices. So I hope I made this thing clear to you that how do we do all these things. And now what I am doing here is that I am taking the starting index as -4 and ending index as -2. So from here, see, let me take it a little down and let me just write simply girl here and -1, -2, -3, -4. Now I have given the starting index as -4. Clear? And I had given the ending index as -2. Clear? So what it will do is that it will here start from -4 is to -2. So it will print me -3. It will print me the character which is stored at the index -4 and stored at the index -3. So what I will give the output here as GI. I will not get RL else because it prints the index, it prints the character which is one index prior to it. So basically if I am printing from -4 to -2, it will give me -4 and -3 characters which are stored in this string. So here that I got was print my str -4 is to -2. So I got the output as GI. Now in positive, if we wanted to write, so this was our index 20, 21, 22 and 23. So in positive, if I wanted to write, so I will write it as 20 is to 22. So that means your starting index is 20 and your ending index is n minus 1, that is equal to 22 minus 1, which is 21. So what I will get the output as G and I. So I hope I made this negative indices thing clear to you, and let's run it once again. So I am getting the output as GI here. Now instead of -4 and -2, if I write this 20 and 22 here, so then also I will get the same output, that is GI, because I told you from left to right we have positive indices and from right to left we have negative indices. Now let me comment this and make it the same, -4 to -2. Okay, so this is done. Fine. Now, what I told you was that if we don't write anything here, this side, this one, what it does is that it will print the whole string as it is given without skipping any of the characters in the positive thing. Now, the same thing applies to the negative also. What we do here is that if, let me change the color of the pen so that everything seems to be a little bit different to each other, otherwise they all will mess up here. So if I write nothing here, and if I write -1 here, so this one is the starting index, as I told you, this one is the ending index. Now if I do -1 here, so -1 starts from where? So as I told you, this is just a second. So this -1 starts from L, then it goes to -2, then -3, then -4, and keep one thing in mind that all the blank spaces which are here, these are also counted in the number of indices. So this blank space is -5, then D is -6, -7, -8, and so on till -24. So if I write nothing in this side and colon nothing, I write nothing here and I write -1 here. So simply what it will do is that it will not leave any of the characters, but it will reverse the whole string. Why? Because I am taking here the positive indices. I haven't mentioned that you need to take the negative indices here. And after that I am asking it to print the characters from -1. So what it will print is that, let me go a little down. So I'm writing it here. So what it will print the output as L R I G D O O G S I and it will reverse the whole string. As you are seeing that reverse of girl I have written here, reverse of good I have written this, a will be same, and reverse of is I have written this side. So what it will do is that it will reverse the whole string and it will give us the reverse of the whole string. Now let's run it once and see what I am getting is the reverse of the string which I told you here, that LRIGDOOG. See it here, LRIGDOOG. So this is how the string slicing works. And now if I write minus, instead of -1, I write -2 here. So it will reverse the string also, and it will skip one character and print us the output. See here, LIOGASVHMH. So this was the string slicing thing that I wanted to tell you. So this is how string slicing works, and this is how we do the string slicing. Now let's move to some functions for strings. Now here I had taken a string that is my str, and in that I had stored a string that is subscribe fun with data science. Now what comes here are the string functions. I had written print in bracket my str dot isalnum. Now what is this thing? What is isalnum? Let me take you a little bit down. Okay. Hold on a second. Okay. So let me take a color. Okay, so this one. So now what is isalnum? Is al Now, so basically it means that is your string alphanumeric or not. This function tells you that is your string alphanumeric or not. Now, what is alphanumeric string? So, alphanumeric string is a string that contains numbers and characters in its string. So, let's say I have written a string that I have mentioned there only, subscribe fun with, and let's say I have written only this much, subscribe fun with. So basically this is not an alphanumeric string. Now why it is not an alphanumeric string? Because it has spaces between this string. So a string that has only and only numbers and characters is called an alphanumeric string. The string which has blank spaces between it is not called as an alphanumeric string. If I write subscribe fun with data like this, and now again if I combine this whole string and write subscribe and then fun and then with, so this is an alphanumeric string because it does not have any of the gaps between this string. Now let's say if I write SU123B. If I write this thing, so this is also an alphanumeric string because it doesn't have any gaps between it, and it basically has some characters and some numbers also. So that is why it is an alphanumeric string. Now let me go to this PyCharm IDE and let's run this. Okay, let me comment all these functions firstly. Okay, now this isalphanum function gives us the output in the Boolean format, that is true or false format. So basically it will give us the output true or false. Now let me run this, and here what I will get the output is as false. So as I have told you that subscribe fun with data science, whatever I have written here is not an alphanumeric string because it contains some gaps between it. Now if I combine these whole string and I remove all the gap between this string, so what is it now? It will give us the output as true here because yes, it is an alphanumeric string because it does not have spaces between it. I hope I made this thing clear to you that what is alphanumeric string and how to check that it is an alphanumeric string or not. Now next comes here is another function that is called as endswith. Now what is this endswith function? So basically it helps us to check that do our string end with this name or not. So let's say my string is subscribe fun with data science. So what I wrote here is that print my str dot ends with, and in bracket I wrote science. So now here I will check that does my string ends with the word that is science or not. If it ends, it will give me the output as true. And if it does not, it will give me the output as false. Now let me run it and I will get the output here as true, because yes, my this string contains the last word which is science. So basically my this string ends with the word that is called science. Now let's say if I write science s here, sciences. So our string was ending with science, but I wrote sciences here. So basically what it will do, it is a case sensitive language. So basically it will print as the output that is false. So I hope I made all these two functions clear to you. Now our next function comes that if we want to count that how many a single character is present in our string how many times. Now let me go to OneNote and okay, let me go a little down. So let's say I wrote my whole string here, that is subscribe fun with data science. Now let's say I want to count that how many E are present in my this string. So here I have 1. This is in science I have 2 E. So total count for the E is 3 here. Now this is a very small string of only some characters. Now let's say we have a very big string and let's say we have 30 lines. So there you are not going to sit and count each and every letter, that is this letter E. No, this is not. Let's move on to another alphabet. Now, is this letter E? No, let's move to another alphabet. So you are not going to do this thing there. So here comes the role of the count function, that this count function which we are writing here, it helps to count that this character is present how many times in your string. So basically what I wrote here is that print my str dot count e. So it will count that e is present how many times in this string, and now it is giving me the output as 3, which I mentioned here that when we counted our e was present 3 times in our string, so it is here only, it is present 3 times. So I hope I made this thing clear to you about the count function. And if you write any alphabet which is not present in this, let's say which alphabet, let's say Z is not present here, and now and run this function, so it will give you the output as 0. So it will tell you that no Z character, no Z alphabet is present in your whole string. Now we have a function that is called capitalize. So what it does is that it helps to capitalize the first alphabet of your string. Now let's say your first alphabet of your string is small. Now this S is small. Now we want to make this S capital. So what we do here is that we run this capitalize function and see. We have the capital S here. So it helps to capitalize your first letter of your string. Now next we have a find function. Let's say you have a very long string of 100 words. Now there you want to find a word. Let's say you want to find a word there. So how you will do? You are not going to see the whole string of 100 words and you are not going to find it on your own. So here comes the role of the find function. What we do here is that we use a function find in bracket we write that word which we want to find in our string. So this function returns us the starting index of that string of that word that it is starting from this index. So you can go and check it out there. So basically this is the function of the find function. Now let me run it and it will give me the output as 0, because my subscribe function is starting from the 0th index. Now let's say I write fun here. Let me do it a little bit down. Let's say I write fun here. So it will tell me the starting index of the fun, that fun is starting with this much of index here. So now it is giving me the output as 10. So it is saying that fun is starting from the 10th index. Okay, so now okay, let's firstly do the upper function because my string is already written in the lowest one. So now here comes the two functions that are uppercase and lowercase function. Uppercase means the capital letters and lowercase means the smaller letters. Now this uppercase character, how does it work? That if your string is present in the smaller characters, that is in the lowercase, so it helps to capitalize all your letters and gives you the output as the capital letter string. So for writing this, I used print and bracket my str dot upper. So when I did this and I run it, I will get the output as subscribe fan with data science in whole of the capital letters. In the string, the main string was in the lowercase, but in the output we got all the capital letters. So this is the function of the upper function, that it helps to capitalize and make all the letters of a string capital. Now let me make this string capital, subscribe fun with data science, SCIENC. Now I have made this string whole in capital letter and now I want to make it in the small character. So there I use the lower function. So for using the lower function, I write print mystr dot lower, and what it does is that it will convert this whole string into lower function. Let me run it and see. Here the output I got is the whole of the lower case characters. So this was the string slicing and the string functions. We had seen some functions and slicing on the strings. Now next comes our topic of list. Now what is a list? So basically a list is a thing which contains many of the you can say strings in that. It is a single variable that stores many things in a single variable. Let me explain you this with an example here. Okay, so just a second. Now we were making single variables and storing a single string there. But now we have introduced list to you. So basically if I make let's say I make a variable list here. No, not list. Let me remove it. Let me go a little down. Let's say I make a variable here as A. And I want to store multiple things in that. So what I will do here is that I will put this large bracket. So basically this large brackets are the denotation that how do we denote our list and how do we check that it is a list only. So if you write this large bracket, so it will tell you that yes, this is your list. So inside this I will put some semicolons and I will continue writing the things here. So let's say I wrote ABC. Now I put a comma and then again I wrote DEF. Again I wrote comma GHI. And it is not necessary that you can write only strings here. You can write some numbers. Let's say I write 5, I write 7, I write 6. So basically this is how the strings work. So now let me show you a string which I had made, and that string is stationary. Okay. So just hold on a second. Let me comment all these things. Okay, just one more. Okay. So I guess I have this thing's downside also. Let me comment it once more. And are there any more like these things? So okay, let me comment out. Okay, fine. So I had made a string named stationery here. So in that string I had stored some string. I had made a list that is known as stationery, and I have stored some words, or you can say characters or a string inside this list. So what I had written is that pen, pencil, eraser, scale, marker, and after that 56. Now if I want to print my list, so for that what I use is that print and then list name. So print station. Now when I run it as, I'm getting an output like this. See, I am getting the output in these large brackets only. So basically what it tells that it is a list. Clear? Now, if we want to access any of the elements of this list, we use the same thing, that is indexing here. Now, let me tell you that in the strings, what we were doing that if we write this A, B, C here. So it was having individual indexes, that is 0, 1, 2. Now this thing does not happen in a list. If you write something in these semicolons, this whole thing acts as a single index, and that will be the first index, that is 0. Now this whole will be the first index. This whole the second index, this would be third, this would be fourth, and this would be fifth index. So here the individual indexes do not work. The write-up, or you can say the string which you have stored in these semicolons, that whole string acts as a first as your 0th index, and then we'll move on to the further indexes like that only. So if I'm printing stationery of 0, so what I will get output here is pen. So this is the thing which I got the output pen, because this pen whole is having the index 0. Clear? And if I write 1 here, let me write 1, and now if I run it, I will get the output as pencil here. Clear? Okay. So now we have seen these two functions. Now let me make one more list, and let me name it as digits. Okay. So I had made in a list that is known digits, and I have stored some values in it, that is 25916. Clear? Now if I want to print this, it is very simple to print that. Use the print function and simply write the list name. So I got the list here. This is no much rocket science here. Now next, if I want to access any of the elements from this there is also the same thing only. Let's take it in this. Okay, so I made that list, and numbers were 25916. I guess this was the list 25916. Okay. Now if I want to access its third element, so what I will do here is that this one will be the 0th, this is 1, this is 2, and this 1 is the third index, and this 6 is stored in the fourth index. So I will get the output here as 1, because 1 is stored in our third index. So now come this side and let's run print digits 3, and I will get the output here as 1. Clear? Done. Okay, now next comes that if you want to sort your list in the ascending order. So for what you will do that, you will write a function that is sort. Sort means to arrange something in order. So here for sorting your list into ascending order, we use the function that is known as sort, and we write digits dot sort and in brackets, and after that I will print the digits. Now my real list is 25916. Now when I will use this function and again see my list, I will get the output in that this whole string is arranged in the ascending order, and what I will get here is that 1, 2, 5, 6, 9. My real string was 25916, and I got the sorted list which is in the ascending order after using the sort function. Now if I want to reverse my whole string, so what I will do here is that I will use the function digit dot reverse, and then in bracket I will use print digits. Now this my whole of the string is reversed 25916. So what my real list was 25916, and in the output what I got is that 61952. So my whole of the string is reversed here. So this is the method to reverse your list. Okay, so I'm sorry wherever I had said the list as a string. I don't know why am I saying again and again string here. So please do not mention that. Wherever I had used a string word, it means that I'm using the list. I wanted to tell you about the listing in this list function only. Clear? Now if I want to access some of the elements of my list, that is as I told you there that we can also access some of the elements of that list also. So here what I will get is that 1:4. Now 1:4, as I told you in the string thing also, in the string slicing I told you about this one. So I don't think so that this would have any doubt here that it will start from the first index and will go on to the third index. So the final output which I will get here is that 591. Clear? Okay. Now let me move down and okay. So let me comment these two things. Clear? Okay, so for finding the length of the digits, it is simple. You all must be knowing that we have already discussed. Now, whatever was my list, if I want to find that what is the maximum digit which is present in my list. So my list was 25916. So in this, the maximum digit is 9. So if I want to find the maximum digit, I use a function that is max. And in bracket, I am using the name of our list, that is digit. So now when I will run this function, I will get the output as 9, which is the largest number in my list. And same for the minimum, that if you want to find the minimum number in your list, then what you will do, you will use the min function and then run it. I will get the output as 1 here because 1 is the minimum element in my list. Now, here comes that if you want to add any number in your list, let's say your list was, what was the list? Your list was 25916. Now you want to add one number in at the last of your list. So what you will do here is that you will use a function that is digits.append, and this append function will add this number at the last of your list, and after that what you will do is that you will print your list. So now the what output will you get here is that 25916, and after 6 you will get 13 also because you have used the append function here. So clear? Here we have got the list 25916 and the number which we have added in our list, that is 3, we also got that. So the use of append function is to add the number in the last. Clear? Print digits, dot insert. Okay. Now, hold on. These all are the similar things. Now, if I want to remove any of the numbers from my list, so for that, what I will do here is that I will do digits.remove, and in bracket I will write that number which I want to remove from my list, and then I will print the digits. That is my list and see, my older list was 259163, and my final list, when I removed my second two number from my list, that I am getting is 59163. So here my two number is removed from my list and the final list I am getting is 59163. So basically these were the functions which we have seen in the list, and these are the things which you can do. You can perform these functions on the list. Now comes here our last topic for the today's video is tuples. So basically tuple is another data type. List was one of the data types. Now tuple is another data type. Now, this tuple and list, they both are same, but what is the difference in that? So basically the difference in tuple and list is that list is mutable and tuples are immutable. Now, let me tell you the meaning of mutable and immutable. Let's go to OneNote and let's go a little down the side. Okay, so let me write here mutable and immutable. So mutable are the things that can change, and immutable are the things that cannot change. So basically we have seen in list, we have performed many of the functions in which we can remove any element, we can add any of the elements, but we can't do these things in a tuple, because tuples are immutable functions. So basically this is the most important difference between list and tuple, that lists are mutable, tuples are immutable. In list you can add any number, you can remove any number, you can perform all these functions, but tuple do not allow these functions, and if you are going to do all these functions it will give you an error because tuples are immutable. Clear? Now let's move to a PyCharm IDE, and here it is how we define the tuple. I write tuple which is equal to, and we denote tuple in these small brackets. We were denoting list in the in the braces, like you can say large brackets, and in tuple we describe it as in the small brackets, and inside this I have written a list, written a tuple that is 1 2 3 4 5. Now if I want to print it, it is just simple as the list one. I will simply write print tuple and I will run it. So it is, okay, just a second. This upper one, 1 2 3 4 5. Clear? Now if I want to find the length, it is also that simple. And now if I want to find the starting index, it is the starting index is the 0 and minus 2. So now let's run this and see what output did I get here is 1 2 3. So now 1 2 3 why? Let me explain you here. Okay, so my tuple was 1 2 3 4 5. So if I start from here, its index, let me change the color for index. Its index will be 0 1 2 3 4. Clear? And if I start from here, its index will be minus 1 minus 2 minus 3 minus 4 minus 5. So what I wrote there was what I wrote there was blank and is to minus 2. So this blank will contain the 0th index. It will start from 0 and go up to minus 2. So what I will get the output as 1 2 3. Clear? We have already discussed all these things in the strings very detail. So this must not create any problem here. So I'm getting the output as C, this 1 2 3. Now here comes that if we want to swap two numbers. Now swapping means to interchanging of two numbers. Okay, let me explain it here only. Downside a little. Okay, let's say I have A is equal to 4 and B is equal to 6. I have two variables A and B, and I have stored the value 4 in A variable and I have stored the value 6 in B variable. Clear? Now, if I want to interchange both of these and I want that in A 6 should be there and in B I should store 4. So now this is basically what is called as swapping, to swap the numbers, to interchange the numbers. So now here if I want to swap two numbers, so what I will do here is that for Python I am telling that I will take these two variables, A is equal to 4, B is equal to 6. Then I will write A comma B is equal to B comma A. Now here what happens is that the value of A will go into B and the value of B will go into A, and I will get final output that will be the swap number. So now let me tell you how that here I had written A comma B which is equal to B comma A. This A comma B will, this A will point towards B because A is here and I had written B here. So whatever value will be stored in A, it will go to B. And when this B and A, so whatever value will be stored in this B will go towards the A, and what I will get in the final, if I have stored A is equal to 4 and B is equal to 6, so here what I will get as the output is A is equal to 6 and B is equal to 4. So this is how we do swapping in Python. Swapping means to interchange the two numbers. Now let's move to that PyCharm IDE. Now this is the basic concept that we use in other languages like C and C++ for swapping of the two numbers. So basically this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines of code, and in Python we do the same thing in basically you can say 4 lines of code. So this is how we do swapping in Python. So I have taken A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2. Now here what I had done is that I had swapped the two numbers, that is A comma B is equal to B comma A, and after that I had print A comma B. So what happens here is that the value of A will go into B and the value of B will go into A. Now let me run it. and the output which I got here is 2 comma 1. So basically this is the thing which I wanted to tell you, that we have entered a is equal to 1, b is equal to 2, and then after swapping, when we print a comma b, we are getting the reverse, that is 2 comma 1. So basically we have finished our today's video on the topics which we covered are string slicing, string functions, list and tuples. So I hope this all things must be clear to you. These all are the very basic and the very important functions for the Python. So this is all for this video. Till then, thank you and bye bye.